Yes, I am muted. Thank you, William. Oh, it's been a fun day, guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and actually tackle the couple of questions that I've got in my chat window. And throughout this, if you have anything or think of anything, please don't hesitate to throw your question in there. That's why we have these sessions, is so that way whatever you guys actually need to have covered, we cover. What I will be doing once I answer these two questions is going into some things that you can do to really make your site be local, definitely kind of sell that local vibe right off the bat. Because we have heard kind of through some consults and through working on sites lately, some of the feedback is, my site looks too generic, or I want to know how to target my local area better. So giving you guys some steps on that today. Real quick sound test. Everybody can actually hear me though now that I'm not muted anymore. Yay, okay. The two questions that I've got right now are, well, actually to get into the back end. So I'll leave this up. To get into the back end of your site, what you're going to do is after this /, whether that's at your temporary domain or if you've already got your domain hooked in, you're going to type in inbound marketing. That is the marketing philosophy that we kind of teach you guys, mainly because it's all about, kind of bringing about the content and being a magnet as opposed to spending a lot of money and just kind of blasting to try to reach people when you can. The question William had is for this website traffic section, what's the difference between referral, direct, and organic? And what is driving this particular tally? I'm going to leave it that there. So what this is how many hits your site has gotten over the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks is what I'm looking at here. Referral is going to be anytime somebody clicked a link on another website and wound up on yours. So that includes things like sharing a link to a listing on Facebook, sharing a link to a blog post on Facebook. If somebody is writing a blog post of their own and they cite one of your pages or cite one of your blog posts, that's a referral link. Direct is somebody clicking on a link in an email that takes them directly to your site, or typing in your web domain directly at the in the toolbar there. Direct here, I will warn you with these numbers, can include a lot of spam bots, index crawlers for search engines, just random things that are all over the internet. Okay. I'm getting told I don't have any sound. Yvonne, if you're still not able to hear, you might try dropping out and rejoining. Okay, so yeah. And I am actually recording this session, so I'll put this on YouTube later, so you guys can also watch it. I just realized I told her to do that and she can't hear me. So, phone number to call. Second. All right, bear with me a second. I'm going to get Yvonne the number, but I've got to switch what I'm doing to do that. So just a moment, guys. I'm going to pause the recording while I do this. All right. like I said, I will be recording this, and this will also be on YouTube. So if you're having problems getting in with the audio, you'll get the session information. So back to this. I was talking about how the direct can include things like spam bots. Not necessarily anything malicious or anything like that, just the little things that crawl all over the internet. If you're wanting to do something that kind of filters those out, I would recommend probably setting up a Google Analytics account, because there are ways that you can filter the bot traffic out of that, more or less to a degree. The ones that you really actually care about are going to be organic and referral. Because organic, it means somebody, one of your pages came up in a search result, somebody clicked it, and it brought them to your site. Organic is a lot of what I teach in this class, of how to optimize and get more of those organic results, which, if you're doing well organically, that means that you're writing content that's unique and means enough that somebody's willing to either link back to it, so you'll see more referral links as well. But again, referral links are primarily going to be things of somebody clicks on a link that you shared on Facebook or social media, or something along those lines. And let me scroll back up for the other question. And okay, he gave an example. So I'm going to pull yours up for a second. You're talking about, I don't actually see the looking to buy questionnaire that's there. So I'm going to show you, because what he's asking about is our lead capture. With the lead capture, let's see, we've got find a home. I think we've edited our find a home. Yeah. There we go. So this is our find a home page that we've got right now. So you're talking about this form that's there, is that correct? Because what this is an embedded lead capture form. This is our canned form, and most people probably find it long, even though all they have to fill out is just their name and email. This is just additional information if they want to provide it. So if you're wanting something that looks a little less, and I'll be honest, it looks a little intimidating to try to fill this out, you can actually go in and create your own, which it is recommended that you do that, because you can actually tie that in closer to what the page is about. So for the find a home, go, when you're in the back end, to edit anything, go to capture, website lead form. This is going to drop us into our Power View, where we can choose which forms are showing up here and which marketing groups they go to. And then we're going to go to Form Manager. I'm going to use this Excited to Buy Your First Home as an example. As you can see, you cannot edit or delete the canned forms that your site comes with, but you can create your own versions of them using this Create a Form button. I'm going to edit this. I'm going to do this real quick so you can kind of see. Okay, so for this 9 steps to owning, this is what I have set up as, my buyer's form right now. It doesn't, so you could do something that you could keep it, looking to buy a house, or looking to find a home, or whatever wording you want to put here. Ah, okay, so you're trying to link to the form instead of having it appear. Okay, let me finish this for some of the people that may not know this is there, and then I'll address that then. Okay, and then you've got your short description that goes here. Each one of these are groups, and you'll see that I've got this, you're still kind of asking for a little bit more information. I could have stopped this at just the name and email. So if you want to have a form that's that short, that's fine, because all that does is short forms are more likely to get filled out. Think about your own internet behavior. If you pop over and see a form that's 20 fields long, are you going to fill that out to get whatever it is that they're either advertising you can get for filling the form out, or to get more information? Probably not. This is probably about as long as I would recommend going, but at the same time you can kind of adjust and feel what's going to work best for your customers, because that's always should be at the forefront of any decision that you make regarding your website. Is this something that my customers are going to like? And one of the reasons you have full control over aspects like your lead capture and your subpage content is because that lets you kind of change it as you need to for whatever's going on in your market. Yeah, that's how you can do that. Now let's go into that page and actually edit it, and I'm going to take a look at the page William had a question about to see. So, and how I got to that section is under Publish, Website Content Page, which we're going to need to be here anyway. This was 9 Steps to Owning, I believe. Yeah. Okay, so you'll see down here there's a lead capture section. You just check this box and you'll see this Customize button appear, and then from there you just select whichever form from the drop down. You can even customize an automatic response for this particular form. So it doesn't matter if this form is being used on 3 or 4 different pages. You actually can configure the automatic response to match whatever page that form was on. So you can really personalize things that way, which helps that customer connection as you're nurturing them through your email campaigns. And then again, you can also put it in specific marketing groups. If you have a broker site, you've got lead routing options as well. Cancel out of that. And okay, so let me go back to your page and we'll see. So if you're wanting to actually link to just a page that is a lead capture form, oops, that is not what I meant to do. Grab the wrong link. That is what I meant to do. All right, so complete looking to buy questionnaire. So if I click that, it just brings it up in a pop-up. A better way to do that would be to create a custom page. So you can do and then because this controls what the UR, what the web ad, what appears after this slash. And all you need to do is just enter in whatever you want, because it'll autofill this section. You are not able to put spaces in this. And there's varying degrees of, you should use hyphens to separate your words or something else. I think hyphens right now are the more common practice when it comes to search engine optimization, though there are areas that you can concentrate on more to weight heavily, like making sure things are in your actual content as opposed to worrying about that element. But just so you know, you can, I also think it looks better with hyphens. That's me. you don't have to worry about putting in any content unless you want to. But again, it's the same thing. You just do lead capture, customize. Going to choose to, first home. I can check that box, brings it up. I have some that I've already saved. It'll populate it. You can kind of follow the instructions here as far as whether or not it's built dynamically or you want to include it so that way you know exactly what it's going to look like. Save changes. You can even edit an existing template and then save it as a new one. Pretty self-explanatory there. I'm not quite sure why you keep losing sound. Wait, no, hang on. That was earlier. I need to scroll down in the chat window. All right, we're good, guys. And then you just close out, save and close. It will now populate with first-time home buyer form. I would not check the box to make it show up in your navigation, but whenever you are, so let's say you're working on that. Actually, let's go to our find a home and do that. So take a few minutes to fill out this short form. And you can see I'm editing directly in this. So this short form, I'm going to highlight what I want to become the link. And since this is a page that's on my site, you're going to actually find that here in custom links. Since I did not have the box checked to include it in my site's navigation, it's going to be in non-selected content. And this is listed alphabetically, so I'm going to try and scroll without making anybody too dizzy. First-time homebuyer form. I click it, this becomes a link, and I'm going to hold off on saving that for a second so we can kind of find a home. So you'll see right now it says short form below, and since we're linking to it in another window, I'm actually going to turn off that lead capture, hit save and continue, refresh the page. So now you'll see that it's there. I click that, it takes me to this page where they can fill it out. So if you want to set it up that way, you can. One thing that's kind of good about this method is that it takes somebody, further steps into their site. But at the same time, I would almost kind of recommend against it, just because if they're going to fill out the form, how many mouse clicks do you really want them to go through to submit? So that's kind of figuring out what's going to work best for you. So I'm going to turn lead capture back on. Looking back. Save all the things. Actually, I meant to hit save and close rather than save and continue, but you get the idea. And now I refresh it and the page is back. So they can either click that or there. Either way, they're going to get a form that they can fill out. So you could have the best of both worlds there. Okay. So we've kind of covered that. All right. So let's go back to the home page. One thing, talking about, my site looks too generic, or I want my site to target a specific area. I want my site to show that I do, that I work with, with veterans, that I do government loans, that I, insert the, fill in the blank here. the way you do that is think about how you respond to other websites. The biggest thing that you can do is, what first impression does your site give? If I were to tell you guys that this is a website for Oklahoma City, would you immediately believe me? Feel free to type in the chat window. Don't be shy. You're not going to hurt my feelings. Exactly. I don't know. Even throwing out a city that most people are kind of more familiar with, like San Francisco or New York. Wow. Sorry, I can't talk today. New York, the answer would probably be the same. The only slight hint, and this is only because we're used to referring to it this way, that this is even an Oklahoma site, is this OKC. And again, you if you weren't born here or had family from here, you probably don't realize that, just like, DFW for Dallas Fort Worth, we like our airport acronym. It is, yes. So some things that can immediately be done to make this site look more Oklahoma City would be use local images. You guys can use, local images should always be used both on the homepage and throughout the site, because you guys are the local experts, and that's what people are going to resonate with. How do I go about that, you may ask? Glad you did. There are a couple of very varying ways you can do this. If it's on your homepage, you'll be emailing these to design@pipelineroi.com if you once you get the images. One thing to realize about the stock imagery that we offer, which I'll go ahead and pull that up so you guys can see that, is we have to purchase licensing for those, for the images that we use and make available for you guys to have on the pages. So there's a reason why for us, because we want them to be able to be used as broadly as possible, why they're going to be, let me scroll down to the homes, generic homes and not anything that looks, well, it's like, well, you guys didn't have anything that looked like it was, Miami or, whatever city here. And that's fine, because I know some of us are pretty decently traveled, but not all of us have lived in those cities, so we don't necessarily know this is this look, this is that look. It's better to get it from you, and there are a couple different ways that you can do that. Same thing for here. So if you want to take a look and see what we've got available, this is kind of option one if you are thinking about getting some different things for your site. Because the other thing too is, does the site tell me that this is a real estate site? Sort of with the home search, but visually, it could be kind of anything. So again, and you can determine if that's what is right for your target market or not, of, yes, I need to have house images or things like that. Or you can do just generic images like what we've got here as well. All right. So the other option, and I'm going to be sharing these resources with you. Option one, that is probably the easiest and most cost-effective. There's a reason I have the webcam on. You guys walk around with smartphones that have fairly decently powerful cameras in them. If it's something that's within, I would argue, the last 5 years, go around, give us your own perspective on your community. or if you're part of an office, delegate somebody to take a couple of pictures in each area, and then pick whatever you guys think is best. You can even email them to design@Pipeline ROI, and the design team will handle cropping them to fit whatever your site layout needs are for those images. So that's option one. You don't have to pay anybody. All it takes is maybe an afternoon of your time. If we weren't so busy building the sites all the time, because I would like to just go out an afternoon and kind of show you guys how I would go about it one day, maybe. But again, super easy. Whenever you're emailing them, there's an option, I know at least on the iPhone, that it'll say actual size or original size. That's the size that you want to send to us, so it won't be compressed. Option number two, if you're not really down for going around, another good option would be is if you work with a local photographer already, check with them. They may price some images very affordably for you that you can then use on your site. Again, just email us those images. If the photographer would like us to provide the dimensions that are needed, again, email design. We can coordinate that information with them. Another option, if you want to go seeking, is freeforcommercialuse.net. This is a site, and it's going to take a second to load because it's a photo site. Case in point of having tons and tons of images on your site can make it load very slowly, which is why we usually keep the slideshows to about 4 to 6 images. This website, you can get free images there, but what I really like about it is here's a search that'll search there, but it has this entire list of places you can go for royalty and free to use stock photo images. Why am I showing you this? Google's not an option. Doing a Google image search can actually land you in trouble if you wind up selecting and using an image that is under copyright. Google image searches don't always filter copyright, even if you check the box. These sites have it in their terms of use and how these are, that it is okay to use the sites. Some of the ones that I have had, Pixabay is probably one that I've seen. Oops, that was different. Oh, it goes to his individual user profile. Okay, well, in that case, I will give you the direct link to Pixabay. This is probably a site that we've seen the most, or I've personally had the most success with. So let's on a crazy thing, Oklahoma City, just to see. All right, so you'll see here, I have no idea why suddenly my Google is in German, but okay. That there's watermarks on these. These are from Shutterstock.com. So the way this site actually offsets their cost for hosting is they partnered with Shutterstock. So if you can't find something in this section below that you want to use, like this would be a really pretty image. So with that, somewhere. Yeah, there's one from the memorial. So if I wanted to, this is a local landmark, I could download this. If you go to pixabay.com, the site won't be in German for you. I don't know, again, why it is. But then I could then use this image on my site. This photographer has just kind of said, hey, here's a picture I took. You guys go have fun with it. Enjoy. This will probably work better for cities like New York. If I could type. There you go. Because as you can see, this would be a really cool image for New York. You know, city. Actually, I'm going to go. So this is one good site. You're probably going to have a lot more. This would be another one for New York if you're in a large city. So large city, I would definitely try pixabay.com. And one of the reasons why, to me, this is arguably more or less the same amount of effort going out and taking your own pictures is because this is going to be very hit and miss. This is going to be more kind of a time drain versus if you just go out, you kind of already have in your head what you want to take a picture of, take those pictures, and then use them. And as always, if for some reason, so let's do, let's see, okay. So if you didn't find anything that you wanted, there are websites like Shutterstock. There are a ton of stock photography sites out there that you can do. So, and again, it's just a matter of purchasing the licensing. So that's about as deep as I'm going to go for doing the pictures. Do one more site. Yeah. Yeah, this is another one. They do images from all over the world. So they do also have a search. I don't know. Sorry, this is not the keyboard that I'm used to. And so you've got, you know, some different images. So again, big cities, you're going to see more success in than you would, because I guarantee I'm not going to find anything in Oklahoma City on this. If I do, I'm going to be shocked. Yep. See, there's only one user that's in Oklahoma, and they haven't provided anything. So Unsplash would be good if you're in a larger city, or just looking for mountains. You can find something that looks vaguely like the mountains in your area, even if they're not the exact ones, if that's kind of like the lifestyle that you're wanting to go to. And with your images, you can think outside the box. Is maybe, you know, mortgage guys, if you're doing, you know, luxury properties, think about what sort of images would resonate with people looking for those kinds of houses, you know, high-end furniture. Let's see. I mean, we already kind of have you covered on the interior stuff, but this can give you some different options as well. So yeah, stock photography can be, it's fun to look at, but it can also, again, you know, find a couple images, move on. The other thing, so let's go back to our site. So let's pretend that I found some Oklahoma City images. Replacing behind this would go a really long way, just instantly. Oh, okay, I know, you know, this is the city they're in. Excellent. As opposed to not every house is a pool around here. And then the next thing, Elizabeth kind of already hit on it, that we have, you know, relocating to Oklahoma City. This, you can use these if you've got them on your site for doing if I wanted to, one way I could use these strategically would be for highlighting individual communities and neighborhoods that would take people to the page that has that information on it. Right now, the strategy behind some of these is not so much, hey, I'm in Oklahoma City, it's this takes somebody to a lead capture page that's an ebook page. This takes somebody to, whoops, oh, we changed the name in the URL. That's why that's not working. All right, note to self, fix that. Yeah, I had kind of rolled some stuff back on the site just so I'd be able to use it as an example, because if you guys have seen this site before, we have actually had pictures from Oklahoma City on it. But again, however you want to use these, it could be, you've got relocating to Oklahoma City. I could even do something about, new to Oklahoma, or just anything else that you want to throw in Oklahoma or an area or a county. Because I could easily do each one of these as Oklahoma, Cleveland, Potawatomi, and I'm blanking on the one that's north. But effectively, county, county, county. If I covered an entire metro area, which, that more or less covers that. And then here are some other places too that any place you've got text or content like this that's on your home page, even if you're on one of the standard themes, make sure you kind of pepper that with words like Oklahoma City, Norman, Deer Creek, and I'm naming little kind of satellite communities in this area, just so that way, because each one of those kind of puts a pin in the map, if you will, of your site. Having something like, under find properties, we've got each one or something here that highlights different communities for the site, as opposed to just general buyer and general seller information. So this is going to be the next thing I'm going to kind of delve into. So beyond your home page, which really the most visually striking thing you can do on your home page to really showcase your area is say, hey, I am in, take some pictures of your local area, put them on your web page. I know, brief note, just because I know I've had this come up in a consult before, using pictures of sold homes, not a real estate agent, not a compliance person, but I know that some states have pretty strict rules over whether or not you can use those on your site once the house is sold. So if you're going to be wanting pictures of local neighborhoods or houses, I would probably recommend getting multiple houses in the shot, or some of the local points of interest to put on the home page. My suggestion, or of course throughout the site. So let's go in and discuss creating something that gets even more local. And now I'm really trying to confuse because this is not quite the page. All right. Okay. So this is an area, this is a neighborhood page that has a little bit of a conversational explanation of the area that, and then you've got a good image of, maybe if you're selling in a housing addition, it's the sign like what we've got here. If it's a community area, like we've got the Plaza District in Oklahoma City, then it could be something along the lines of the Arts District. We've got a ton of very readily identifiable murals down there. Could be a picture of one of those that goes there. The key thing is there's some content for somebody to read. Maybe highlight the school districts, some of the things, essentially make somebody, be the salesman that you guys are and really talk up the neighborhood in the area. And then you're going to want to build a search that somebody just read how awesome this area is, so they're definitely going to want to see what houses are available. And then through this, they can kind of get all of that information and create a saved search, which then prompts lead capture, which is what you guys want. They can add to their favorites, again, prompting for lead capture if they haven't filled out an account, so that way they have something to tie it to. So let's kind of go over how to make one of these pages. So go into, our first step is going to be to create the targeted IDX search, and this is something that you can do by zip code, by city, by county, and by shape. So there's 4 different ways that that can happen. So we're going to go here. Search Manager. This is only if you guys have our integrated IDX, which I believe everybody here, I think that they should. And mortgage guys, your aspect and take on the local, that's one of your big selling points, if you will, is the fact that you can come and see me to talk about your mortgage as opposed to dealing with who knows what over the internet to apply through one of the big banks or something like that. The fact that you're there, that somebody can have face-to-face time with you is good. So, even though we're talking about doing these little local searches, you can talk about your community involvement, things like that that might be on your site, or blog about things that are going on in your community, not just mortgage topics as well. Okay, so we're going to create a new custom search and do Oklahoma County. Let's see. It doesn't actually matter what you name it because you can do by city. It'll pull it, and anything with an Oklahoma City address is what it will pull. And you can set it to do commercial if you guys have that. Residential is ultimately what you guys will probably want to select. And so now we've got the Oklahoma City search, and you can even narrow it down. So if you wanted this specific search to show anything above a certain price point, it could do that. Usually I would recommend just leaving these blank. Again, it just depends on how you want to configure your searches. Hit next, save search, and we've got a ton of searches on this one. And there you can kind of see what this is, or see the different options that are here. So if we were going to do by zip code, we'll do the area around work. So it's specifically this area. And again, same options as before. So let's say you were a luxury agent or something like that. You could actually set all of these initial searches that people can get to to being above a certain price point. So they won't show any listings initially that are below that price point. So that's one way that you could really kind of sell the fact that you're selling a luxury lifestyle. That's one option. It did save the settings from last time, so if you're setting that up, because you can go in and edit these later if you need to. Because like you click on edit search, it'll be fine. Now for the fun one. So let's say we're looking to get to a specific area. So we're going to do the Paseo Arts District. If you right-click and add points, and I'm hitting the escape key to close that menu, then you can draw and have as funky a shape as you need. And then when you're done, you just hit close shape. And I could, let me zoom in. Whoa, too far. If I kind of mess this up a little bit, I could drag these points back over, and so it'll only be within that search. This is really good if you have those local pocket communities, like if you've got Chinatown or Little Italy, or which I don't even think they use those necessarily anymore, but like we've got the Arts District or things like that. Just whatever neighborhood identities or boundaries you guys want to put, that's something that you can do. You can make this as detailed as it needs to be, and adjust that accordingly. So yeah. Sorry, I'm just finishing getting my points there. Okay. Hit next. So if you've got one of those places that is an up and coming neighborhood in your market, start promoting that. Draw your boundaries and start promoting. Yeah, I'm gonna leave that. Yep. Hit save search, and then you'll see I've got my zip code search. So now that we've got those created, how do we get them on our pages? So under my content, you'll notice that we've got some of these custom pages that are built out. I'm going to go to this Nichols Hills one, which has actually, and we've got effectively the picture, so you can put the picture in there and then edit the information that's there. So for the listings, we're going to check the box to include listings on this page. That'll bring up the Customize button that's there. And you want to set it to use a IDX saved search, and then you're going to find your saved search. Come here, Nichols Hills. And you can adjust here. So let's say if I didn't want the map present, or I didn't want to enable the search, you can turn that on and off with a couple of mouse clicks. So now that we've got that, save and continue, and I'm going to refresh the page, and you'll notice as it loads the listings, all that are there are just the listings in that area. So if I wanted to, I could put the the search back in if I wanted to. So that way if somebody didn't find what they're looking for, they could still search. But since you're on a community page, giving them a snapshot of, and here's what's available for you to live in, is kind of a good thing. So that's one way you can kind of get that local and build out some of those community pages. Let's see. So I'm just double checking my notes here. Yeah, because really nothing says I know local like neighborhood level searching. Can I swing my drip campaigns? Yep, I can do that. Real briefly while I'm bringing that up, some other ways that you guys can keep things local. Do that through your blog posts. What are you guys involved with in the community? What community events do you know about, even if you're not necessarily involved with them? What are some of the local spots that you love? Blog about them. Talk about them by, highlighting local businesses. They're more apt to share a good article about them with their fans, which will get more people to your site. So it's kind of a win-win for everybody. And then again, this is stuff that you can talk about that will, again, drive people to your site. Because sites that blog get 333% more leads than people that don't. We had actually pulled numbers on that using just our sites of people comparing sites that did have at least one blog post against sites that didn't have a blog post. So we're comparing apples to apples. Blogging is a bit of doing the long game, but it gives your site more content and a bigger footprint for the search engines to discover on. So nurturing. I mentioned that whenever somebody fills out that lead capture form, they can get added to a certain campaign. Right now we don't have any campaigns going out on this training site, but normally you'd be able to see how much email you had going, how many campaigns you had going out, how many people clicked links, and how many people opted out. The reason I skipped over this viewed stat is I wouldn't necessarily put a whole lot of stock in it, because several email client programs will mark a message as read if you stay in it too long. So really it's how many were sent, how much engagement did you get out of it. You're going to find our email nurturing under the nurture. You can import your contacts, and then if you're going to do the email campaign manager, which is I think what they had done. How many blogs per week? That is up to you. I would, if you're new to it, I would probably start out maybe once or twice a month. If you want to, you can do bulk writing, which is where you'll sit down and maybe write 2 to 3 all in one sitting, and then you schedule one to go out, and then next week one to go out. So that way you're not remembering to have to write one every week if you don't want to. And if you've got an office staff or a group of people, I recommend spreading the love around. Everybody has something that they're an expert on in the community. Let them shine. All right. So for this, for the nurturing, one of the key things is to set up campaigns in a way that they are going to be relevant to the people that you're trying to market to, because that's why people unsubscribe. Again, think back on your own behavior. If what you're getting in your inbox does not continue to provide value to you, you're probably going to hit that unsubscribe link or ignore the email. All right, so to create a new campaign, we of course have to have a name. So we'll do first time buyers. Click on continue. We've got marketing groups set up. You're not going to have this many because this has been a test site. We have way more than we should. So I've got 7 in my first-time home buyers. So this is something that I've set up, and we have some earlier videos on our YouTube that cover how to set up marketing groups, just because I know we're almost out of time, but I'll get through this. So first-time buyers, you can select certain groups. So anytime somebody gets added to this group, they're automatically going to start getting that nurturing campaign. So this is where you can kind of set some of this on auto, but you want to make sure that it's set up for success. So we're going to go with that. Next, you're going to select your content for the ad campaigns. We have it organized. You can do buyers, sellers, useful information. You can do all ads, do buyers, since this is okay. So you can double click to add one in there. You can have however many, because you can go through and edit the ads. I'm not going to sit here and go through each one, but I'm going to open this to edit it, and it works just like the content editor. Anything that's in these little weird brackets is going to pull in based upon the data that's on your site, so you don't want to do those. Okay, that is an excellent question, Elizabeth. She asked that if, so let's complete this, start the campaign. If new people get added to the campaign, it's going to depend, it does not start it over for everybody else that's part of that list, unless you create a brand new campaign and add them back in. Whoop, hitting things over here. You'll see that since I edited this, it's changed an icon to where now I've got my custom content. So if you edit a template, you can easily add it and reuse it without having to re-edit ours every single time. And it didn't overwrite the one that is currently in here, so good on that. There's 2 ways to schedule delivery. So we've got the one that goes out today. We'll do one 2 days and 3 days, and I'm arbitrarily throwing in numbers. You guys know how much you probably want to be touching a prospect if they're hot, cold, or warm. So again, you can set the day intervals here. Actually, if I want this to go out on the 5th day, so it's 0, 2 days from now, 5 days from now is how that works. And you do have to have a subject for each one. Or you could just do, I want them to get a touch, every 5 days, and this actually overrides this. You can set it by date. By interval is 95% of the time, I'm going to say 99% of the time, what you're going to want to do, because intervals are going to be specifically time sensitive to the person, versus date is like if you were sending out something that, Mortgage Guys, if you were running a pricing special or a special on your fees or something like that, that was up at a certain point. So you'd want it to go out, say, October 15th for something that ended, if you're trying to get them nurtured on that. Date, again, so to give an example, if Elizabeth was added to my campaign that was already running on this, she would start at day 0 when she got added to it. And it would go on. If I added Will after Elizabeth, he would start at day 0, and then Elizabeth would just continue on until the campaign concluded for her. She doesn't start getting emails all over again, unless, again, I create an entirely new campaign and add everybody back in. If I did this by date, then let's say I added in, added in Elizabeth on the today, which is what, the 18th? Yeah, today. So I added Elizabeth today on the 18th. And then I added William on the 19th. Elizabeth would get all 3 of these messages. William would only get the last 2 because the date of the 18th is already passed. Again, why you generally want to set by interval. And then you hit save. And then hit next, review and send. It'll give you an alert like this one's subject is still blank. You do have to have a subject just for deliverability. It'll warn you if you do. I'm just clicking OK to do that. And then you'll know if it is actually active if it has a little yellow light. So that is how you set up a campaign on there. If you haven't already set up your marketing groups, I would probably recommend doing that just because that will help you make sure that what you're sending your contacts is relevant. But yeah. Really good class today, guys. If you have any questions, again, don't hesitate to reach out to us. Our support team is available 8 to 6 Monday through Friday. The number for that, I'll go ahead and add it in the chat window, is 866-300-1550. Just choose option 1 for support. Again, if you are thinking about changing up the images on your homepage so they look more local, email design@PipelineROI with your new images. Generally, it's about 2 to 4 business days for us to get them cropped and in your site for you. All right, have a great day, guys. Oh, hang on. One last question from Elizabeth. You're welcome, Will. Once you start a campaign, you can turn off and add more articles, or does that mess up the campaign for the people already in the campaign? I would... It'll depend on what day they're on. If there's a subset that you wanted to add back in, I would recommend maybe creating a separate campaign for that. And then just adding them, and then you could have it start at whatever day it is. For something specific like that, what I would do is I would recommend consulting with my support teammates, because they would be able to get into your site, see what was going on, and actually be able to advise you based upon your individual situation, versus with the training site, I have to kind of keep things general. So, all right, you guys have a great day. Thanks.